Welcome back to Off the Beaten Couch. I'm Bonnie Adams, a licensed marriage and family therapist who specializes in helping people overcome their loved ones' addictions. Today, we're closing out the Family and Flux series with a conversation that's real and maybe a little uncomfortable, but only in the best way. We've spent this series exploring the roles we take on in families impacted by addiction or dysfunction. The hero, the scapegoat, the enabler, the lost child, the mascot, and the center of the storm, our addicted loved one. Remember that these roles are survival strategies. They're shaped by chaos and pain and the need to keep the system in balance, even if that balance looks like dysfunction. But what happens when we grow up? When we leave the house and start new relationships and build families of our own? We don't leave those roles behind. We carry them into our adult lives. And unless we become aware of them, we will unconsciously create the very same dynamics with our partners, our friends, our coworkers, and even our kids. This episode is about how to break that cycle. Not just for ourselves, but for the people that we love. We're going to talk about how these roles show up in adult relationships, how we unconsciously recruit others to play complementary parts, why safe might not feel safe at first, and how to move towards something healthier, even if it feels totally unfamiliar. According to family systems theory, the family functions as an emotional ecosystem. Every member plays a part to keep the system in balance, even if that balance is toxic. When we grow up in these systems, we internalize our roles. They become part of our identity. And without realizing it, we carry those roles into new relationships. The hero becomes the over-functioning partner, the one who holds it all together. The scapegoat might find themselves in relationships where they're blamed or misunderstood. The lost child might struggle to connect at all, staying emotionally distant even in close relationships. The mascot might feel pressure to always be entertaining, fearing that if they're not funny, then they're not lovable. The enabler continues to manage, rescue, and control, confusing care with codependency. And the addicted loved one, even in recovery, may feel stuck in shame, unsure of how to connect without the crutch of their role. But here's where it gets even more complex. We don't just carry our roles with us, we actually chess people into playing the parts that we need them to play so that we can play the roles that we've become so accustomed to. Let's say someone grew up as the hero. They're accustomed to being responsible, competent, and needed. Without realizing it, they might seek out a partner who's struggling. And that partner in turn might slip into the role of scapegoat or the addicted loved one, reinforcing the hero's identity. Or take the mascot. If they're only comfortable being the funny one, they might surround themselves with people who are more serious or emotionally unavailable. People who need them to lighten the mood, but never invite them to go emotionally deeper. This isn't manipulation. This is actually unconscious patterning. It's the nervous system saying, this feels familiar, so it must be safe. In relationships, this can look like picking fights to recreate the chaos at home, avoiding intimacy because closeness feels dangerous, over-functioning to prevent others from feeling helpless, and sabotaging peace because it feels way too unfamiliar. We build relationships that mirror our family systems, not because we want to suffer, but because familiarity is what feels safe to us. It feels like what we can successfully navigate. We're wired to seek what's familiar, not necessarily what's healthy. One of the clearest ways this plays out is through something called the Karpman Drama Triangle. It's a model that describes dysfunctional relationship dynamics, especially in families and codependent systems. Triangle has three roles. The victim. The victim typically feels powerless, helpless, and oppressed. The persecutor, who blames, controls, and criticizes. And the rescuer, who swoops in to fix, save, and protect. Does this sound familiar? These roles are actually pretty fluid. Now, somebody might start out as the rescuer and over time feel unappreciated, so then they can slip into the victim. The victim might lash out and become the persecutor. It's a cycle and it is exhausting. Most families affected by addiction live in this triangle. And when we grow up in it, we tend to recreate it in our adult lives. We might not even notice it until we burn out, blow up, or break down. So what's the alternative to this? The healthy version of the triangle is often called the empowerment triangle or the winner's triangle. It reframes those same roles in a way that promotes growth, stability, and connection. The victim becomes the creator, somebody who takes responsibility for their choices and seeks solutions. The persecutor becomes the challenger, somebody who sets boundaries and speaks truth without blame. The rescuer becomes the coach, someone who supports others without taking over. This shift is subtle but powerful. It's the difference between saying, "Let me fix this for you," the rescuer, versus, "I believe you can handle this and I'm here for support," the coach. You're ruining everything, which would be the persecutor, versus, "This behavior isn't okay and I need something different," the challenger. "I can't do anything," the victim, versus, "I feel stuck, but I'm willing to try something new," the creator. Moving out of the drama triangle takes practice. It means slowing down, noticing your role, and choosing a different response, one that supports connection rather than control. So let's go back to why safe doesn't feel safe. When you start to heal, it doesn't feel good. If you grew up in chaos, calm feels boring or even threatening. If you're used to being needed, not being needed can feel like rejection. If you're used to conflict, peace can feel like you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. This is your nervous system doing its job. It's scanning for danger and using your past as the blueprint. So when you start to set boundaries, allow yourself to be seen, or slow down, your body might go into fight, flight, or freeze. You might feel anxious, irritable, numb, or restless. That doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. That means your system is adjusting. Healing means teaching your nervous system that safety is safe. And the best way to do that is to build tolerance slowly over time. Start small. Don't try to overhaul your life overnight. Pick one relationship, one moment, one pattern to shift. Notice your body. When you feel triggered or activated, try pausing. Just for a moment. I call it pumping the brakes a little bit. What's happening in your chest, in your stomach, to your breath? Is your breath becoming shallow? Are your fingers and your toes feeling tingly? Do you feel your shoulders rising up to meet your ears? Just take a moment and just pause in that for a moment. Just notice what's happening. Practice co-regulation. Spend time with people who feel calm, grounded, and safe. Let their nervous system help regulate yours. Name what's happening. This feels scary, but I know it's just unfamiliar. That awareness alone can reduce your reactivity. Celebrate discomfort. If calm feels weird, that's a good sign. It means that you're stepping out of the old system and you're able to notice it. Here's what I want you to remember. You're not your role. You are not the fixer. You are not the rebel. You are not the quiet one. You are not the clown, the caretaker, or the problem. You are a whole person and you are allowed to grow. Breaking the cycle doesn't mean cutting off your family or becoming an entirely different person. It means expanding. It means choosing relationships that are built on truth, not performance. It means letting your nervous system decide what safety feels like and staying with it, even when it's uncomfortable. And yes, it's hard. Families will try to pull you back into old roles. That's not because they're bad people. It's because the system really wants to maintain homeostasis. That's what systems do. But you don't have to play along. You can lovingly say, "I'm not doing that anymore." You can model something different, and over time, you might just invite other people to do the same. Thank you for taking part in this series, Family in Flux. If this series has helped you feel seen or sparked something in you, I'd love to hear about it. And if you're ready for the next step, whether that's therapy, a support group, or talking to somebody who's been in the trenches themselves, know that you don't have to do this alone. There are other people who've experienced these very same things. Know that we're all in flux, and it's okay.